We're doing 4. Because you guys said 4. Since everybody will do 4, we're doing 4. Okay, so look, how much is h of 8? How much is h of 8? How much is h of 8? Remember, everything's being recorded. What do you guys get? How much is h of 8? Here's h. This is h of 8, right? So it's 8 minus 2 over 5, right? So it's 6 over 5, right? That's the answer, 6 over 5. There you go. How much is h of 8? H of 8 is 6 over 5, right? Okay. All right, now what are you going to do? You're going to take 6 over 5 and put it in for g, okay, where x is, right? Okay. So now you're going to do this. How much is g then of 6 over 5? Okay. All right. So now here we got negative, right? X, right, which is 6 over 5, okay? And then you're squaring it, right? Okay, now here's the thing. Let's stop that for a second. It's right. You got it. Good job. The answer is negative 36 over 25. That's correct. That'll be the answer. Good job. There you go. You got the answer. So how much is g of h of 8? It's negative 36/25. That's right. Okay, all right, so we're doing g of negative 5, number 8, right? Okay. All right, so here's g of x, right? Here's g of x, right? Okay, which equals negative x squared, right? Okay, now we're going to put negative 5 in there. So this is negative, and then we got negative 5 squared, right? Okay, so how much is negative 5 squared? How much is negative 5 squared? 25, and then put a negative on it, so it's going to be what? Negative 25. There you go. All right, so there's that, right? Okay, now you're going to take negative 25 and put it into g of x, right? This is going to become g of negative 25, right? Okay, so here's negative, where that equals negative, then what? Negative 25, right? Okay, which is squared, right?
So if it's negative 5 times negative 5, would it be a positive 25?
Yes, it would. But then you add the negative onto it, right? Then you multiply by the negative. That's what we just talked about. Okay.
Oh.
All right, so now what's negative 25? I'm sorry, what's 25 squared? Oh, wait. Did I do the wrong thing? Oh, there's the thing. Okay. Yeah, what's negative 25 squared? So what I meant to say. Okay, so then what's the answer going to be? Negative 625. You got it. So it's negative 625. There you go. You got it. There it is. That's it. Didn't problem. Okay, there's something going to change on this because you guys aren't ready to do this yet. This is an old worksheet that we did last year. They cover stuff, which once again, the book hasn't addressed all this yet, right? So here's what you're going to do. You see that null negative 1 up there? Take the null negative 1 away. We're not going to deal with that. You don't know how to handle that. That's something we haven't talked about. That's later in the course. Okay? All right, so back to this. All right, so look, here's what you do. You do f of g of x. Okay, so how much is g of x? 5x minus 2. Now, here's all you do, guys. You take this, and you put it in for x in the other function, like that. Okay, so you're going to go and do this. Okay, f of g of x means this, right? It means you're taking 4. You're taking 4, right? And then you're putting this in place of the x, right? So you're going to put this in place of the x, like that. Okay, now we'll distribute the 4. What do you get? 20x minus 8, right? That was given to us. 20x minus 8 is the answer. Okay, all right. So once again, on this one, right, you take f of x, right, and then put it in place of g, right? With x for the g, right? So you're going to take 5, right? And then x is 4x, right? And then minus 2, right? Which would come out to be 20x minus 2. Good job, that's right. You guys are doing great. Okay, all right, so let's go to C then. F of x. F of x. So you're taking f of x and putting it in for x for f of x, right? What's that? Because. Right? Very good. So it's going to be 4, and then for x, you're going to put in place of it 4x, right? So you're going to get for 2 many of those. Okay, so it's going to become 16x is right. Good. You got the answer on that one. Okay. All right, let's stop there for. So the domain of each of these compositions is what we want to do. So let's go to the domain of A and B and C, right? All right, so take a look at this first. Here's f of g of x. So now you tell me this. What is the domain of g of x? What is the domain of g of x? This is what you guys have been practicing for several weeks now. Like, you know, you're going to have a test register with this kind of stuff and other stuff. So you should know this by now. What is the domain of g of x? Maria, what'd you get on that one? What'd you get?
Or A?
Yeah, what do you mean?
Oh, that's
You don't want to find it. It's the domain of g of x, right? Is what you find. We worked on this for several weeks now. Okay, so what's the domain of g of x? Okay, who knows the answer? But that first part, you guys should all know that by now. Okay, let's go to b then. Here's b. So we do g of f of x. So here we go again. What's the domain of f of x? What's the domain of f of x? There you go. Negative infinity, positive infinity, curvy are the set of all real numbers. So then what's the range of f of x? Or the set of all real numbers. So then what's the domain of g of f of x? Negative infinity, positive infinity, curvy are the set of all real numbers. It's okay, there you go, it's right. Once again, for this one. Other times it changes, right? But this is what you got to understand in order to go through the lessons tomorrow, the word problems. If you don't understand this concept, then we have some super trouble from the word problems. Okay, let's go to C. Try C. Okay, f of x. So what's the domain of f of x? Negative infinity, positive infinity, curvy are the set of real numbers. So what's the range of f of x? Negative infinity, positive infinity, curvy are the set of real numbers. So what's the domain of f of x? Negative infinity, positive infinity, curvy are the set of real numbers. That's right. Okay, now we've gone through that. Like I said, tomorrow that's going to be really important to understand. Okay, so you guys chose number 12 to do, so let's try this. Okay, so I'm going to take h of x, right, which is this, and put it in for x for g, right, and put it into x for g. So here's what I'm going to get. I'm going to get 2, right, times x plus 4 over 3, right, and then minus 7. Okay, you got it. Okay, so there's that. That's what we're going to do. Okay, let's stop there. Okay, we know this. We put a little 1 under there. You multiply the top by the top and the bottom by the bottom. All right, so what's the right answer going to be? Is it A or B? It's B. It's B. It's definitely B. Okay, so it's going to be 2x plus 8 over 3 minus 7. It's right. Okay, so far so good. But we're not done yet. We still got more to go, right? Okay, so let's stop there. You guys know that the problem is you just don't remember it. You see, you're so concerned with fractions and scared of fractions, you guys don't learn these things. Okay, so you got 1 over the 7, okay?
Let's try it. Oh, yeah.
Yes, you find a common denominator. What's the common denominator with 3 and 1? 3. Okay, look. How many thirds is 7? How many thirds is 7? 21 thirds is 7. 21 divided by 3 is 7. Okay, look what you got now. Common denominator. How much is 2x plus 8 minus 21? 2x plus 8 minus 21. How much is that? 2x minus 13. 2x minus 2x minus 13, which is all over 3. 1, 3. 3. You do. You have 3. Okay, you're pretty good. Here's your answer. You're done.